I am Shaughnessy, and I am going to do a March 13th new moon reading. This is in 2021, and I will be focusing on strictly rising signs. So if you do not know your rising sign of your birth chart, there's all kinds of apps. Just put it, you have to know your time of birth. That's important. And just your birthday and your location where you were born. And the apps will compute it and tell you what's on your first house, which is your rising sign. What your rising sign is what was on the horizon at the moment that you were born. It's not your sun sign. Unless your sun sign happens to fall in your first house, they're two different signs. So find out first what is your rising sign and then go to that video. And that's going to be a more accurate horoscope, because what I am doing is putting the planets where they are right now into a chart by rising sign. So it's going to apply to the different houses that these current planets are hitting off and triggering. And that's going to tell you what you're kind of working with for the month. And a new moon does last sometimes longer. Some things are triggered before the new moon starts. But you can actually, within the house that your new moon hits, is where you can set intentions and work on them and work consciously to create the life you want. So I'm going to start with Aries rising. And Aries rising, the new moon actually falls in the 12th house in Pisces at 23 degrees. And there is also the planet Neptune and the planet Venus in the 12th house. So the 12th house represents the unknown, karma, the institutions, hospitals. So my guess is hospitals are going to kind of be busy during this new moon period. And not as bad as like the full moon when it hits the hospitals, but it can still. So it also represents our dreams and, like I said, the unknown. So it's like connecting with spirit on the other side and communicating with spirit. So that might be a little stronger. So you might get stronger intuition. It would also maybe, I like looking at the 8th house for being a medium where you communicate with the other side, but it also happens in the 12th house. And as far as your dreams, what you can do is set intentions because Venus is in the 12th house with this new moon and Neptune, is asking for inspiration to help with your finances. Ask for inspiration if you're an artist or a writer. And because it's also very creative. Venus is the artist. So a musician, pay attention to your dreams. You might get lyrics coming through in your dreams. And have a journal by your bed and pay attention to the dreams that you have. And if you don't remember your dreams, you can ask before you go to sleep each night, and just keep asking. If you wake up in the morning and can't remember one dream or not, just keep asking for you to wake up and remember your dreams. And write them down. Even if you're half asleep, just have a pad and paper and write it down in the dark, and hopefully you'll be able to understand it. But just a few words just to trigger the memory of the dream. So the other houses that are impacted, one of them is your second house, which is your what you value, how you value yourself, how you make money. And so this, in your beliefs and your self-worth area. And this is being triggered by the planet Uranus, which is kind of a slow-moving planet. Or it is, not kind of. So Uranus is the kind of planet that brings lightning strike inspirations. So kind of pay attention because you might miss it. Certain ideas. So, and it can also be changes. So your income can increase or decrease. So this would be a really perfect time to work on your self-worth and how you value yourself and your time. And kind of look at, are you being compensated for how much you're giving? Because everything has to stay in balance. So make sure that is in balance. So that, because we kind of associate our self-worth with how much we make. And if our self-worth is really down there, we're not doing our total potential. So there's a lot of self-help groups, and this is a time that we have to start loving ourselves and honoring ourselves and our time. How much time am I wasting with the TV or games, instead of actually focusing on the kind of work that I enjoy? Are you an artist? Start doing artwork. Are you a musician? Put your focus where what you want to create, and don't get sidetracked by what's happening in the news and TV, and really focus on honoring your time. Where are you wasting time? Are you actually focused on what you're trying to create? Or are you just being distracted by everything outside of you? So just something to consider. The next house that's being triggered is Gemini, which is the third house, and that is communication. It's all about communication. It's also about short distance travel, so neighborhoods, staying kind of close. It's not long distance, like going to another state, but it's all local, driving, walking kind of thing. And the planets that are in there right now, or the planet Mars is there. So Mars is aggressive. So you might pay attention and see if you're being a little too aggressive while you're driving. And pay attention to the other drivers around you and focus on your driving. There is a chance being aggressive right now could create an accident. And I'm not saying you're going to have an accident, but just be aware of your surroundings and everything around you. Even when you're walking, if you're walking and it's uneven, there's rocks on a hiking trail or something, or just uneven cement, pavement, potholes, wherever you're walking, just pay attention, because Mars can be accidents. But they don't have to be. Just, again, I'm going to say it, pay attention. The other thing in the third house is the North Node. And the North Node is where your soul wants you to gravitate to this lifetime. And being in the third house of communication for you, are you a writer? Do you write lyrics? Do you write a book? Do you do podcasts that you have to write up? Anything. Are you an editor? That kind of thing. So this is being highlighted right now. So if you do have that urge or inkling to write something, get to doing it. This is a good time that with the Mars energy, that you're going to have the drive and the energy to get it done. And so even if it's painting, whatever, it's how you communicate and allow spirit to communicate through you. The next house that's being triggered for the Aries rising person is the 9th house of Sagittarius. And the 9th house represents long distance travel. So if you're driving to another state, flying, just pay attention to your surroundings. The South Node is in that house, and the South Node is our past. So it could be somebody from our past coming back into our lives. Maybe you're traveling through a place where you used to live, and you might see somebody at the airport that you know. Just kind of pay attention. The other thing is you might be working on a book from a past life, or just from your early days in this life. But it's usually something from the past coming forward, with the South Node being there. So it's also a good time to, if you already have your book ready to go to a publisher, working with a publisher to get your book out there, or a gallery to get your paintings up, kind of thing. The next house is the 10th house of Capricorn, and Pluto is in there. So the 10th house represents your career. So with Pluto there could be changes in your career, and Pluto is the death and the rebirth. So are you wanting to totally do something different? Kind of start doing that. Pluto's going to be there for a long time, so it's not something that's instant. So if you want to start a career that you really love, let's say you want to try photography, start doing that. Even though you're working at your other job, use some of your free time working on your skills and getting portfolio ready for your pictures, or if you're a painter, whatever. But start putting energy into what your passions are, and start bringing that out. If you're unhappy in your career, you really want to be careful how much you're reinforcing that. Are you driving to work saying you hate your job? Really be careful, because if you're going to create losing your job if you constantly have negative thoughts towards it. So focus, though, if you hate your job, start focusing on finding the job that would make you happy, that would bring you joy, that you would be passionate about, and ask the universe to bring that to you. So really watch your thoughts, driving to work, coming back home after work, and while you're there. If you want to do something different, start focusing on that. You want to focus on what you want, not what you don't want. Because right now with everything, I don't want people losing their jobs, kind of thing. So really focus on what makes you happy. The next house is your 11th house, which is your hopes and dreams. And it's groups and organizations. And you are really being triggered by 3 planets here. So now is the time to really solidify and get clear on what do you want to create in your life. What's been your dream? What's your dream job? What's your dream group that you want to be associated with? And it's also the house of astrology. It is also the house of helping humanity move forward. Do you want to work with people to help them in their spiritual path? So because you have the planet Saturn, Jupiter, and Mercury all sitting in this house, that you want to really give energy to it and your thoughts to it in a positive way. And you'll be amazed by the results. So that covers the 12 houses because I started with the 12th because that's where the new moon is. And I just want to let you know my website is shaunasay.com. I'm going to have it in the information below. And if you want to contact me or check out my website, if you are having a hard time finding what your rising sign is, email me through your website and I will try and help you with that. Also, I do teach astrology classes and I do provide readings if you want a more extensive reading where it's more personalized. This is kind of a general through the houses where, you know, if I talked about like the 11th house, you might have natal planets in there that are being triggered by this new moon. So, you know, if you're interested, contact me. I would love to work with you. And have a super great day. Create the life you want. Thank you.